Major red flags are surfacing regarding all of the purported assassination attempts involving Donald Trump, including the purported most recent one aboard the old Air Force One in Turkey, where Donald Trump went into a catering container and with Natalie Harp snuck out and left the press aboard. Now, in a rushed emergency filing to the United States Supreme Court, where Donald Trump is saying, Supreme Court, please block the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals and all the lower courts order blocking my ability to construct the Golden Ballroom. Pause that, Supreme Court. I need your help, right-wing Supreme Court justices. I need my Golden Ballroom. It's all part of a shield to protect me from all of the assassination attempts. I am scared of Iran, and I need the White House to become a military complex because unlike every president that came before me, I view the White House as my own military bunker. As the commander-in-chief, I hide in cafeteria containers, so I need a ballroom shield. I kid you not. This is a filing to the United States Supreme Court where Donald Trump is saying, I have a need, an emergency need, because I'm being threatened with all of these assassination attempts to turn the White House into a military facility where a ballroom becomes my shield against drones and ballistic missiles. And Trump tries to cast this as this is unprecedented. This has never happened before. I'm the only president to be threatened. What are you talking about? All former presidents have been threatened with probably daily assassination threats. They just don't go and put it in court filings and whine about it every damn day. So this is the emergency filing to the United States Supreme Court. This is Donald Trump's ballroom appeal. Let's just take a look at the language that Donald Trump uses so you can see how cowardly it is. Trump has been the target of a growing number of recent assassination attempts, including a heavily armed assassin who breached the security perimeter of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, a gunman who opened fire at the west entrance of the White House complex, a conspiracy to deploy drones armed with explosives at the UFC Freedom 250 event, the threat of a missile attack against Air Force One on July 8th, a sniper caught in the act by the Secret Service at Trump International Golf Club, Palm Beach County, Florida, and a sniper's bullet that struck the president's ear in Butler, Pennsylvania, the AR-15 bullet that hit Donald Trump in the face, but his face was a shield, apparently. And you know how AR-15 bullets work. I mean, it just, leaves a little tiny scratch and no red flags at all that Donald Trump doesn't want to release the Butler, Pennsylvania medical records or that there was no mark after. No suspicion at all. In addition, Donald Trump argues in his filing that he also needs, he shows photos. He needs there to be golden seals to make it clear that this is his shield. It's an integrated military shield. This case involves an extraordinary unlawful injunction, Donald Trump says, by the D.C. Circuit that will halt the ongoing construction of an integrated military complex, including a totally secure ballroom space at the east wing of the White House, which is vitally required by national security. I mean, what a coward. I mean, for real. I mean, we should never have authoritarians here in the United States, but why did ours have to be just the weakest, most pathetic freaking loser in the world? The biggest scared loser in the world. It's freaking humiliating. As Director of National Intelligence, Jay Clayton states, the project is critical for ensuring the White House can serve as a secure location for the gathering of the presidents, gathering of senior government officials, and other gatherings. Then it goes on to say this line is wild. Such an injunction threatens the security and safety of the President of the United States, and it rests on glaring errors as to Article 3 standing, the merits and the equities, and creates a needless interbranch collision. In upholding it, a D.C. Circuit majority wrongly viewed the president as a mere tenant of the White House, with the district court as his de facto landlord. The president of the United States of America is not a tenant. Where did the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals say that the landlord is the district court? You want to know who the landlord is, you scumbag? It's us. It's we, the people. It's the taxpayers. You work for us. You are a public servant. Do you you don't, because you spend your time doing 21,000 stock trades and focusing on quid pro quos that benefit you while you destroy this country and future generations. We're the landlords. We, the people. That's what's in the Constitution. And it's not some needless interbranch collision. It is that we elect members of Congress. Those are our representatives. And they do something, Donald, called passing laws. And your job, you tenant, your job, Donald, is that you faithfully execute the laws that are passed from the members that we, your landlords, elect. That's the way our system works. You don't like the system? Go the hell away and go to Russia or something, for real. I'm sick and tired of these losers. I really am. You know, this is what our Constitution is about. I don't need whiny brats complaining about golden ballrooms and saying, oh, it's I had to hide in a cafeteria container with my human printer, Natalie Harp. It sickens me. I want to bring in Harry Litman from the Talking Feds YouTube channel, Talking Feds podcast. Harry, you're going to have to meet that energy and exceed it in your analysis. So let's see let's see. I mean, this is just so pathetic, Harry. I mean, it's just such a level of patheticness at every level. Legally pathetic, morally pathetic. Just as a human being, I look at this and I go, what a freaking loser, man.
Ben, you are fired up today. There's no doubt about it. And I look, I agree with everything you say, but I want to also bring it to the sort of scoundrels moves that he makes with respect to the law. So, by the way, the quote there that the DC Circuit says is he's a tenant, not the owner. So in Sauer's pushing back, is he wanting to imply that Donald Trump owns the White House and it's not the American people that own the White House? You know, it is because we own the White House that this is such a monstrosity. You have to think, if he's able to succeed in these vainglorious and shoddy plans, seventh graders taking their trip to DC on the bus in the future will see, instead of the neoclassical design of the White House in conformity and congruence with the whole lovely DC circuit, we'll see instead some weird imperial series of monuments, you know, something out of like the communist Russia and the huge busts of Stalin or Lenin or whatever. But the number one thing that he does is always try to exploit any possibility or any risk of danger to him to say, we must build this ballroom. The whole thing, by the way, is ass backwards. I don't know if I can match your energy, but I'll sprinkle a little profanity in there for Midas Mighty. Because look, from the start, remember, he just goes, and DC Circuit's really good about this, no authority from Congress. He just goes and builds a big hole digs a big hole where the East Wing was. And then what his basic strategy has been, I've got this big hole now. That's a dangerous situation. You've got to let me go forward. But it's an utter non sequitur. The courts, in fact, have said, okay, you built this big hole, and now that's moot because you brazenly violated the authority of Congress, which alone can do this. So now you have to shore up the security there. And somehow, for Trump, this became the only way, literally, to provide for security in the country is to build this 90,000-foot Xanadu monstrosity. In what sense? There's not a single one of these instances that have anything to do with the level of security in the White House, nor is there a single showing that somehow the White House security is at all failing or a problem. So it really is just completely sort of cynical, intellectually dishonest sort of framing. And, you know, Todd Blanche, new AG, Sauer, also his former personal lawyer, has to tow Trump's barge as well. This filing in front of the the DOJ and has certain lines in there that came from Trump, and that for the justices will be like nails on a chalkboard, talking about his basically the magnitude of him. And we've seen this in other briefs that he cares about. And I gotta say, economy going to shit, Iran war completely opaque and getting worse by the week. Donald Trump, as best I can tell, 75% of his focus is on just this, the future sort of monuments to himself that on top of everything else, yes, pitiful, pathos, but so friggin' like, un-American, right? You just always see this guy in his third grade guys wanting to be liked or loved. The Kennedy Center, the same thing. He obviously envies the kind of elegance and respect that the Kennedys enjoy, and it just like tortures him. But he's created, and he's made his Solicitor General step forward and create in the Supreme Court a fallacious argument. There's not a friggin' thing, even the most remote connection between being smuggled out in a foreign country because Iran had a supposedly some kind of credible threat that has what to do with I guess they'll ship him right home. He'll get right in the middle of his 90,000 foot mausoleum and never leave, and everybody will have to come to him. A president, as you say, travels the world, does things, and comes into contact with sources of danger and craziness. It is not the White House, much less the White House as reframed in Geld by and Mar-a-Lago style by Donald Trump that would do this at all. And I want to go back to this filing. Remember what's going on. He says this is an effort to say, I got to build, and right away. That's the context. He's gone for an emergency to the Supreme Court. You got to let me go. So somehow not building is this what? Irreparable injury if he can't build it, all the way up. But Sauer in the SG said to the Supreme Court, you know what? It's 65% done anyway, so you just can't stop it. Now that is an eyebrow raiser. So what? They build this hole in the ground without asking Congress's permission, which they have to. Then they start to, with the authority of the court, because they've screwed it up to that point, but you have to, yes, secure the security of the president, start to build this stuff in. And now 65%, I thought we had a 90,000 foot above ground, huge ballroom, and they're not permitted. That's the line now. You cannot build above ground. In what sense has the Solicitor General of the United States credibly asserted to the Supreme Court justices that this is 65% done? But putting credibility aside, the whole kind of scoundrel, shabby quality of digging a hole in the ground one day and basically at that point saying, I know the law says you have to go to Congress, too late. And we've kept building because you've told us to underground. Now, too late, 65%, nothing you can do about it. Law be damned, politics be damned. We just have to do it as a solution to the problems of security of the president in the whole world. So yes, pathetic, but legally, not just pathetic, but really cynical and brazen, right? Dig a hole in the ground and then say, hey, you see that hole? You got to let me go 90,000 square feet above. That's just the way it goes. Transform the DC skyscape forever. Seventh graders be damned. I'm not a tenant. I guess the owner. Yeah, I'm not an owner. I'll do whatever the frig I want with it because I am Donald J. Trump.
He views the word tenant as though it is the worst
Trumps
word.
Are not tenants.
The Trumps are not tenants. I have rights as the it is sickening. And then to use the period of time between district court and circuit court to rush, again, probably pretty shoddy construction, as well, given the rush. And there's, no asbestos mitigation. I mean, there's going to be a lot of issues that are going to be uncovered, in the future as well. But to utilize that time, normally what someone would say is, all right, the district court said this is unlawful. Maybe I should pause, because if I get 62% done and then I get ruled against, then I'm going to be wasting a lot of people's money. So as a responsible steward who faithfully executes law, why don't I responsibly pause it? But he's not, this is the thing.
Why don't I double time it, right?
This is a real, I guess, and sometimes it's like this, guys, gals, people, you know this, but we have a lot of people watching now who are coming to our side who maybe didn't. Look, this is not a Democrat, Republican, or independent. Like, this is a very evil human who spent his whole life doing very evil things. And he's spent his life hurting people and bankrupting things and doing this crap in his private dealings that have led to bankruptcy. That's what this is about. And now he's doing it to the country, and we're all now the people who are being impacted. And it's not some reality show that we get to watch and go, oh, look how crazy it is. It's our lives. It's our children. It's our grandkids. It's our communities. It's our world that's being impacted. And we have to just wake up. We have to say, this isn't normal. It's not okay. This is not how we live our lives. And that's why everybody, we fight together. The MeidasTouch Network, we promote channels that give you the law and that give you the data. And Harry's channel is just like that. It's called Talking Feds. So I always want to promote the broader network that Meidas is associated with or affiliate, and Harry's channel is one of them. It's called Talking Feds. After this video, search Talking Feds, subscribe, tell Harry WTF America. That's the name of the new book that I wrote with my brothers that comes out in October. Put that in the comments to Harry's videos. And, I learn a lot from Harry, and I know you will too. So thanks, Harry, and thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you, Ben.
Breaking news right now. My brothers and I wrote a book. It's called WTF America. And well, doesn't that just say it all? It comes out officially this October, but you can pre-order your copy today. Just scan the QR code or click the link in the description below.